thanks to the support as a channel member, Kyle Mollix. Well, this is about as big an episode as you can get. We've got a top of the table clash against Wigan, and we face Spurs in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup. 2 wins here. We're having a lovely time. 2 defeats, and I'll reload. I probably will have to reload. And as you can see, we are still top of the championship as we hit mid-December. 21 games played, almost at the halfway point of the season, 49 points. And there are Wigan, just 6 points behind us in 4th place. And there are vultures circling at both clubs, because I am on the verge of taking Mr. Tickle off of them because we've got a goalkeeper injury crisis. We actually had 2 goalkeepers injured at one point. Both Pizarro and Charles were both injured at the same time. Matthew Young, fortunately, not a disaster goalkeeper. I mean, he has got 50, 60 games in the Premier League over the last 3 years, so not a bad third choice goalkeeper for us to have. But Mr. Tickle's available for £5 million. Yes, he's 32, but with for £5 million, when we've got all that money to spend, I am very tempted to get Mr. Tickle to help us get over the finish line this season. That being said, Rob Harley might not make it to the end of the season. He is now considered a leading Premier League player. He's in the Championship Dream 11. He's quite good, and as a result, he's wanted by a lot of big clubs and a couple of very hopeful Championship sides, but Leipzig, Bayern Munich, Celtic, Bologna, Monaco, a couple of Qatari teams. They're obviously going to have to pay an awful lot more than that. Basically, this needs to be a transfer that takes it out of my hands. The board need to accept a deal on my behalf if he is to go. £35 million in the bank. It's going to take a lot for that to happen, I think. But he won't discuss terms on a new contract because he wants to play for England, which is fair enough. He is now 20. 2034, is that a World Cup year? That might be a World Cup year. I think he's a bit hopeful, aiming to be at the World Cup. But I guess if he is a leading Premier League player, quality, at 20 years old, maybe he should be aiming to get to that World Cup. And he's probably not going to get there playing in the Championship. So he could well force through a move if a big enough team who can get him 6 months playing at the absolute top level to get him to the World Cup comes in. So that's what we're up against with Rob Harley. So he might be gone. Mr. Tickle might be coming in. The transfer window opens in 2 weeks. I'm both afraid and excited of it. But before we play Spurs in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup, we have that game against Wigan. And we go into it in reasonably good form. You can see we've lost I told you an episode or 2 ago, there was no way we were going to have an invincible season. We're not going to have an invincible season. We've lost a couple of matches, but we are still winning way more than we lose. We've got quite the lead at the top. Let's go beat Wigan, and this is the team we're going to try and do it with. So it is Young in goal, a back four of Ryvad, Stojanovic, Graf and Hogsberg, Tingy and Armstrong in midfield, Wang on the left, then Tyjon and Harley, all behind Higgins up front, and Higgins has started scoring for fun again, the way he did the last every season of his career until this one. So he's now up to 16 goals and he's one of the top scorers in the Championship now. And then you've got those 3 behind him doing absolutely sensational things. The Wigan team, because of all that money we gave them, for 2 players, by the way, you don't even make it onto our bench now. We gave them, or we signed 4, didn't we? One's on the bench, one's a superstar. The other 2 are just fringe players. But I guess there's some familiarity around it. But they obviously spent some money on that guy. I don't know who that guy is either. Did we have Volpato? It doesn't sound familiar. It's going to be interesting to see how they're getting on. Obviously, Xander Sample doing pretty well because as a few rascals rightly pointed out the last time I said I was going to get him promoted and then he messed it up. We were at, Coventry 2, Preston 8, latest score. We'll get back to me waffling in a second. It's not showing on there. That's an interesting scoreline though. But yeah, we were actually in poor form when I jumped ship this time last year. And Sample got them back up into the playoffs or just outside the playoffs. So he is pretty good. He took over for me at Bedford. He took over for me at Wigan. He's probably looking for me to get a big job anytime now, so he can have the opportunity to come in and get a promotion with Blackburn. But what's actually happened is we've won a penalty. It's Mr. Tickle against Tyjon. I used to love watching that man catch penalties. It's not the same when he's playing against us, that's for sure. I mean, it does make it a lot more likely that we're going to throw some money at them. I mean, yes, he's 32, but we're this close to the Premier League. And I think £5 million for a top goalkeeper who, worst case scenario, does 6 months, gets us promoted, and then sits on the bench in the Premier League because we sign a superstar. I think I can live with that. And I think £5 million is fine for a backup goalkeeper in the Premier League, especially when we're not going to have to do the kind of enormous rebuild teams often have to do because we've got such talent here already. So, yeah, I think I am very much leaning towards bringing Mr. Tickle in. It does mean he won't be able to be an entire career at Wigan kind of guy, but I've already got a shirt with his name on and it can go back up if we sign him. So it might be almost Tickle time again. I was in Hamleys, the toy shop in London the other day, and actually saw a Mr. Tickle plushie. I didn't buy him because I'd already got the Blackburn job at that point. I'm now regretting not buying my plushie. I could have put a Mr. Tickle plushie inside my Mr. Tickle Wigan shirt, and then you wouldn't have even noticed it was a Wigan shirt. We could have just said it was a Blackburn goalkeeper's shirt. Do you know what colour Blackburn's goalkeepers' shirts are? Because I don't. They could be yellow. Right, we've won a free kick on the edge of the area here. Is Mr. Tickle going to better Rob Harley, who shoots from... Oh, my word. Oh, my word. He really is going from strength to strength. Rob Harley, ladies and gentlemen. That is... I mean, at what point is he the greatest, like, homegrown new gen we've ever had? Because we've had some really good players who've come through our own youth systems over the years. Obviously, the home quartet from years ago, but he's going to do it again. Rob Harley. Oh, he's at the crossbar that time. Yeah, the likes of Mick Powell, Anthony Harris. They were great, but they were never better than like Conference League 2 players. So have we had a better player? And I'm not talking about wonder kids we've gone out and bought and developed. Actual players who've come from our own youth system. It's something that when I'm not doing a youth-only save, I tend not to prioritise youth development. But Rob Harley came through the youth system at Wigan. I remember giving him his debut when he was like 16 in the final game of a season, like 4 or 5 seasons ago. And we've carefully developed him at Wigan. We've brought him in here to Blackburn and continued his development. We've eased him in slowly. We didn't throw him straight into the team. I mean, he had that stretch where he had to play as centre forward, but he was able to be eased in gently. We've moved him out wide. We've adjusted his position, got him into a position that now really, really suits him. He's now wanted by some of the biggest clubs in the world. If he goes on and becomes like a fully fledged, like Champions League, England international player, have we ever had a better new gen than that that's actually come through our own team? Especially a player who's come through when we were in League One. It's not like he's just a good player who's come through a good Premier League youth setup. We were in League One when Rob Harley emerged. And here he is doing absolute superstar stuff for us. Right, Hogsberg to Tingy, and now Tyjon, and there is the man himself, Harley, who, I mean, come on, it's like watching Messi. That was ridiculous from Harley. And now Wang to Hogsberg, who's been fouled, and now Harley's going to have another chance to go one-on-one with Mr. Tickle from miles out. We don't get to see that one on a highlight, but the speed of dribbling, and I mean, that was sensational from Harley. And now, up against Rob Harley, we're going to have got an injured Bindon, who's a centre-back who can also play right-back. He can't play left-back. He's a big lump and he's injured. We dropped him from centre-back when we were in League One because he was too slow. Harley is going to turn him inside out and back again. Oh, they've moved him over to right-back now, as they should. And there is Bindon coming down the right-hand side. And Arnu, who never really got a proper opportunity for me because we were playing Harley ahead of him. He's got 16 goals from 20 appearances this year. So Arnu, turns out, was a very good signing. Even though I wasn't really using him because Harley was ahead of him in the pecking order. Maybe we should have moved Harley out wide when we were still at Wigan. Who knows where we would be now. But Young is beaten by a very good header from Arnu. and it's 1-1 and all to play for again. And we need another moment of Rob Harley magic. See, Bindon is playing left back. Valmy, who's also a centre back, is playing right back. They're doing the good old 4 centre backs thing as well. It's not just me. I mean, I've got 5 on the pitch, but we love a centre back. You can tell I built both of these squads. It's all big meaty boys. But we need Harley to have another moment of absolute genius. Right, Farrah is going to come on in behind Higgins because Tyjon is not having the best of times because he missed that penalty. Higgins also not having a great game, so Thompson can come on for him, and then we will take off Tingy, bring on Costello, swap those two over, and hopefully with a couple of adjustments to the attack, we can find a winner from somewhere. I mean, we all know where we'd like to find it from. Did he celebrate? I didn't even notice if he celebrated. That XG difference between the two teams is annoying as well. Xander Sample, the imaginary Wigan manager, he seems quite effective, doesn't he? Which is annoying. He might actually be better at this than I am. We're now in a race to the top. Right, let's bring on our other former Wigan man. Shaha comes on, and we've got 10 minutes to try and find a winner, or are we going to get sucker punched? Oh, that's a disaster. I mean, in the context of this match, that's a disaster. In the context of the season as a whole, bearing in mind the transfer window opens in 2 weeks, it wouldn't be the worst thing that's ever happened long term if he was out for 2 months now and couldn't pass a medical during the transfer window. Obviously, we want to be able to keep on using him, but we've got Mbappe who can go out there. We've got plenty of strength in depth. Yes, he's our best player, but I think we can still get promoted without him in the team for a couple of months now. And if it means we get to keep him, it wouldn't be a disaster. Mr. Tickle, I think, with this audition, just reminding me just how good he is, I think we go out and make an offer for him. We're not even going to let him leave today. We're going to send Wigan away with an offer for a fifth one of their players in the year since I left. And it's probably the first one I should have bought. So we're going to put an offer in for Mr. Tickle. But first, we're going to see what's happened to Rob Harley. Because if he's out of the Spurs game, that's a little bit harsh. I mean, it's a broken toe. So it is going to do exactly what I said. It's going to keep him. He's going to be injured throughout the January transfer window. So either clubs won't care and that's the last we'll ever see of Rob Harley and his final moment was a screamer of a free kick against his old club, or that's going to put clubs off. He's going to fail medicals and we've got him for the rest of the season. And then if we get promoted, we might be able to throw a new contract at him. So it might, in the long run, end up being a blessing in disguise. But either way, where is he? Get him in here. Get Tickle in here. Where is he? There he is. He's wanted by Rangers. See, £5 million. It's a no-brainer. Yes, he's 32. But I think we just offer that. They've accepted it. I think we're bringing Mr. Tickle in. Because why wouldn't we? We're having a goalkeeper crisis and the man's right there and has just proven once again how good he is. And now we can play Spurs in the Carabao Cup quarterfinal without our goalkeeper and our best player. It's starting to look like a tougher task. And without our top scorer. Don't think we're winning the Carabao Cup, are we? It's all kind of coming on top of us at the same time. So as has been our policy throughout this cup run, we are rotating a little bit, trying a few things out. We even did it against Man City and we beat them. Young stays in goal, even though Charles is fit enough to now be on the bench, but he's not fit enough to start. Mahovo comes back in at left back. He's been asking for game time. We go with Stojanovic and Graf at centre back, Hogsberg left back, Tingy and Costello in midfield. But then up front, Thompson comes in for Higgins, and Mbappe's going to get a start. He's played pretty much every game in this cup run, but we're going to play him centrally with Jude McRobbie coming in on the right because we might need him in the absence of Rob Harley, and Farrah is going to play on the left against his old club. We've agreed a contract with Mr. Tickle. We're just waiting for everything to be rubber stamped, but fingers crossed he will be a Blackburn player by 2 minutes past midnight on the 1st of January. And yes, it's going to be a tough January without Harley and Higgins, but we're just never going to concede a goal again because Mr. Tickle's coming in. So I guess that balances things out. 5 centre-backs and Mr. Tickle. It doesn't matter if we've got no strikers. And that isn't me telling you, Football Manager, to take out all of our strikers. We would like to keep some, but we don't need them because we'll never need to score goals again. Every game's going to be 0-0. Right, Farah against the club who were happy to let him go back in the summer. Big, deep cross from him. Thompson with the header. Can't get proper contact, but Jude McRobbie keeps the move going. Mbappe to Costello to Farah. I mean, it's somebody shoot. Goodness me, what a lot of faff. Somebody eventually did have a crack. It was saved, but there was a huge reluctance from anybody to actually have a proper hit there. I feel like there were probably some opportunities for us to test the goalkeeper a little earlier than we did. And when we finally did, he's pushed it behind for the corner. So it just shows that we've got a decent shot on us. We've scored way more goals than anyone else in the Championship this season. Obviously, a lot of that is because of 3 players who aren't involved today. But even so, I think our backup players are still pretty strong as well. There's Mbappe to Thompson. Jude McRobbie is in behind, and Jude McRobbie scored against Spurs. Oh, he's offside. I would love, if we are going to lose Rob Harley, there's no one I want to replace him more than Jude McRobbie, just to show that my Wigan transfers weren't complete insanity. Palermo is out on loan for the season, so hopefully he'll come back ready to slot in as one of the 5 centre-backs when he returns next season. But McRobbie, we've kept around because he is on the cusp of the first team, as you saw there. I mean, it was a decent finish against a team who are regularly playing in European competition. So he's not a million miles away. He's not helped by the fact that the players ahead of him in the pecking order are as good as they are. I think in most other promotion-chasing Championship teams, McRobbie is playing a lot more football than he does for us. And these couple of injuries might be the making of him, because he's probably going to play some games while Harley and Higgins are injured. Right, Graf plays it across to Stojanovic. Still only 22 minutes gone in this first half. Mbappe with a very loose pass there, but Stojanovic tries to get it back to him and then tries again, and both times misses him completely. And it is Spurs coming through our midfield again, and McRobbie's tracking back, and he's done quite well there. But because it's Football Manager, he makes the tackle, but the ball immediately goes back to the player who's been tackled. This isn't a new FM26 thing. This has been in the game for years. What's the point of tackling when this is what happens when you do it? It's just so annoying. It's so rare for players to come away with the ball when they do a tackle. But I mean, at least it was nice to see him tracking back. You don't get that out of Harley. Harley stays up here and does attacking things. Right, Farah now on the left-hand side. Still very much of a point to prove today. Lays it off to Costello and now Mahovo and Tingy. And again, we're doing these nice little intricate passes. Hogsberger's come forward on the overlap, looking for that deep cross. Farah's there. Can he find the cross? No, he lays it off to Costello, who's teeing up a shot, but can't keep it under the crossbar. It's a decent effort, but we do need to do a little bit better than that. We do have a little bit of firepower down on the bench. Tyjon's there, Wang's there. So we do have options to come on, not quite as many as we'd normally have. But if we are chasing a goal, we've got players to bring on to help us do the chasing. And Mbappe with a point blank effort, and it's somehow kept out by the Spurs goalkeeper. And it's starting to feel like one of those days where we're just not destined to score a goal. Farah has been our best player, proving the point that he had to prove. But it would be quite nice if he could find some kind of return as part of that. Mbappe to Mahovo. Really loose pass from him, though, but Tingy clears up the mess. And now Hogsberg back into Tingy, and Jude McRobbie's got in behind again. Should have drilled it straight across goal. Instead, plays it back to Costello, who once again shoots from range and can't keep it down. But I feel like McRobbie had the opportunity to just sling that across goal for Thompson to tap in. I don't know if that's a lack of trust of Thompson, who's still not scoring goals for us. And presumably we'll now get a run, because with Higgins and Harley both being injured at the same time, Thompson is kind of our only option at centre forward. So he's going to play some matches there. Hopefully he'll score some goals, and then we'll get a little bit more confident about looking for him in those kind of situations. I think if Higgins had been playing, no doubt at all, it gets played across the penalty area for him to tap in. But McRobbie's looked lively. Annoyingly, Mbappe's looked frustrating. a lot of chickening out and laying the ball off and passing backwards from him. And I think that's certainly an area where we need to do a little bit better. So we'll give him 15 minutes and then Tyjon will come on. And of the players that are available, he's our top scorer. So we probably do need to get him involved sooner rather than later. And with Mbappe having a poor game in his spot, it's a pretty easy decision to make. Let's demand more. I think we've got at least a goal in us today. Tyjon's going to come on. Maybe he's the man who'll deliver it. We're not going to make sweeping changes with still 35 minutes of the second half to go, but we have got one of our key players on. He's not played very much Carabao Cup football this season at all. It's been the competition where we're trying a few things out. We don't need to try things out with him. We already know he's good. But now we have got some tired legs. Costello can come off for Armstrong. Thompson, do we stick Tyjon up front? We can try it, can't we? And then shuffle around to that, maybe. It's worth a try. Thompson just doesn't look with it. Tyjon can play as a striker, and he is now scoring goals consistently. So maybe it's time for him to have another go up front. We're offering some more encouragement. We've been the better team. It's very frustrating. You've got to believe, with everybody fit, I think we'd have beaten Spurs here today. Bring on the more attacking fullback. Farah needs to come off now as well. Marshall can come on for him, and Wang can go into that little pocket there. And time to go very attacking. We're not going to throw men forward, but we want Young to go forward for the corners. That's why we've gone very attacking. And we have a corner, and I don't think Young's gone forward yet because there's still 5 minutes to go. They don't tend to go forward quite that early. Yeah, he is back in his goal. I wasn't sure until we got him in frame, and there is the deciding goal for Spurs. I'm a little bit frustrated because I think in other circumstances, on another day, we've been the better team. We just haven't had any finishing. If we'd have had a first choice goalkeeper and one of our goal scoring attackers, oh well. We weren't supposed to win the Carabao Cup this year. It was just a fun little distraction. And the FA Cup starts in a few days, so we don't need to be in 2 cups at the same time. That's madness. But fingers crossed, in the next episode, we get to welcome Mr. Tickle in. So I think we'll probably do the whole of the January transfer window in the next episode, starting with welcoming a familiar face and familiar arms, assuming nothing goes wrong with that deal. But if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.